Alright guys, I've held you long enough. The jig's up. I'm talking about DropBox stock here today. I bought 50 call options contracts expiring January 20th, 2023 on Friday. So 2 days ago. This was after Jeremy from Financial Education came out with his video talking about how he was buying some option contracts, some call options that also expired that day. DropBox could definitely just rock it at any point. It's a very undervalued stock, in my opinion. And here's my reason as to why. Alright, before I start rambling on too long, let's get to the third part of their business model on how they are going to make money in the future. And this might be the most critical part, this third part. And this is the DropBox remote work applications, which in my personal opinion is highly scalable. And they need to prove themselves first, but I see this long term being game changing. First off, to the new people that haven't been to the channel before, my name's Trevor, and the Financial Liberty 2020 channel was created in order for me to provide my insights and my knowledge about the stock market to the world. Please, if you don't mind, hit that like button down here. It really helps the channel out. Also, please consider subscribing. Maybe my 6th or 7th video, so it's a pretty new channel, so any support would help a lot. So you can see up here, this is Drew Houston. He is the CEO of DropBox. So that's what they started as. On that platform, they work in a freemium basis, and they do have a significant amount of users using that platform. It's important to note that he's also on the board of directors for Facebook. So he's got fame and notoriety in other ways as well, other than DropBox, and he definitely knows some powerful people. Anyway, let's get on to the business model. First off, DropBox is a top-tier cloud computing database software company where essentially Drew Houston, in interviews from maybe 2010, 2015, he talks to how he decided how he was going to create DropBox is because he kept leaving his flash drive at his house, and he had no way of getting his homework to class or anything that work related. If he left his flash drive at home, he was just SOL. He was just done. He's fucked. So what he thought, he saw a problem. He got really aggravated, so he pulled out his computer, started writing the code to create DropBox for just basically an internet cloud computing database where you can basically put flash drives out of business. I believe it's 2 gigabytes of free storage on their free version of DropBox, and then you can go to DropBox Premium, and DropBox Premium allows you I believe up to 2 terabytes, and it's $9.99 a month, $15.99 a month, somewhere around that area. DropBox was one of the first companies to exploit this need in the market for a cloud computing database, that basically an online flash drive. It allowed them to get a lot of signups in this free software and market to them, send them emails, or whenever they got on there, they'd see all the other options to actually become a paid user, and just for how long this business is around, if they hadn't adapted, they hadn't added to that business model, and they just had those, yeah, they probably would have gotten taken out by the big tech companies, the Googles of the world, the Microsofts of the world, because that's basically a feature. I would argue that if all you are is just a database for storage or for handling my data so that I can get to it anywhere in the world from Wi-Fi, I don't see that as a product or a service. I see that as a feature of a larger product or service. And I believe that the CEO of DropBox believes the same, Drew Houston, because he's added a couple different factions into his business model in the recent, 1 to 2 years, really. And their DropBox spaces, they've been working on maybe 5 years or so, but really in the last couple years, they've really put a lot of oomph into this company that changes the fundamentals as to a lot. It changes the fundamentals a lot compared to where this company was at, let's say 2010 area, 2015 area, even the 2018 area, I'd say. So they have a top-tier cloud computing database. Their second form of revenue is their DropBox Business. Now, DropBox Business is a collaboration-focused software that allows companies to integrate all of the different software and all of the different tools that they need to do their jobs correctly into one platform, essentially. So what Drew Houston saw is he saw that he already had all these users, right? These 150 million users that are non-paid, and now I believe they have 15 million users paid. But he basically saw all these people that he could market to and say, hey, how can I expand on that, So what he did is, without really spending any marketing money. In the very beginning, the first 5 years this company was around, 6 years, so like I'm talking 2010 to 2016, 2017 area, very little money was spent on marketing. What they did is they marketed to their existing user base, and they marketed this Dropbox business platform to even people that don't even run businesses, but just they market it to them, and they see how cool it is. They bring it into their workspace, they bring it into their job, and from there it trickles up. They tell more people about it, they like it, it goes up. The next level of management likes it, next level of management, before you know it, you get to the top. And that's how Dropbox, if you look up, you can do the research on your own. That's really how they expanded the majority of their business here, is just through word of mouth, based upon, just converting free accounts to paid accounts, right? That's it. It's pretty amazing. And it's really the service, the product, whatever you want to call it, is very useful. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like Facebook, kind of like Bitcoin, kind of like eBay, these things. They're businesses, but really, if you ask me, they were discovered, Like, you make a lot of money. So I wouldn't say they were invented, I'd say they were discovered, because as soon as the internet came out, they were bound to happen, And I think this is the same thing, because I know personally at my job, I use all different sorts of software from the Microsoft suite. I use Katia, I use Adobe, GoToMeetings, I use Zoom, sometimes we use Slack. There's a lot of different things that you have to go to and switch between apps and do all these things that actually, when you're at work, and I bet you most of my viewers can agree that while you're at work, a lot of your time is not even spent doing work. It's spent doing, switching between the applications on your computer rather than actually doing productive work, So that's what Drew Houston saw, and he saw that was proliferating around basically every industry, and that if you could reform that, or you could revolutionize the way that applications are stored and used on a desktop, then you could potentially have a much more effective and efficient business. So that's the market they've targeted, and the software that they've developed. So this software is bar none one of the best. They have competitors in Box and Microsoft Teams and some of these different collaboration efforts, but if you ask me, I think Dropbox trounces them all. And not only that, I think the market is large enough for multiple different contenders. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty successful business right now. They're already profitable, in that factor alone. Their collaboration focused software is spreading wildly. It is still increasing. I've seen the application for myself and how easy it is to now collaborate remotely, especially in software development, and specifically regarding Dropbox's software. They integrate, so they've got strategic partnerships with Zoom, Salesforce, and Slack that allow them to do a lot of different things, and to import and export different files and different collaboration efforts for different projects differently than any other software I've ever seen. It really is game changing. It allows for you to have your headquarters in San Francisco like Dropbox does, yet all of your employees live in, let's say like me, Wichita, Kansas, where the cost of living is very low. Let's say, I don't know, the Philippines. Let's say Oklahoma, somewhere in the Midwest. Arizona, I don't know, not in San Francisco where the cost of living is high. So you're able to hire more people, and their lives are probably better. They probably like it working from home more. They don't have to get dressed as much, it's much more comfortable, laid back, all these things. They've shown profitability the first 3 quarters of 2020 using this method. If you want to look into the software specifically before you invest, I don't blame you. You can go to their site or other YouTube videos, and they show the personal user interface of this software and exactly how it's used. And the way it's categorized is just pretty amazing. It allows any project to be viewed and probably accomplished in a more timely manner than any other project software there is. It allows everything to be stored in the same spot. It shows you exactly who's been in this same spot, that has all the files of any sort that you need in the same exact spot. It shows you when they've been there, what they've done. It shows you who's allowed to be in there, the access wise, and it's like I said, there are competitors to Dropbox, but personally, these three things looking good for the future. All right, now I would never promote any stock on YouTube, and even this stock, don't take my recommendation. Do your own research before you buy anything. But I would never show a stock without going over the financials, at least somewhat. I would hope that YouTube knows that I would never buy a stock that has a terrible financial report, you know, like the financials are everything, you know. So here we go. I'll go over it briefly. So third quarter fiscal 2020 results. Total revenue was $487.4 million, increase of 14% from the same period year over year. That's good. Total ARR ended at $1.981 billion, increase of 49.8 million quarter over quarter. Paying users, this is a big one. Paying users ended at 15.25 million as compared to 14 million for the same period last year. Average revenue per paying user was 128 as compared to 123 for the same period last year. So they're increasing paying users as well as increasing the amount on average that the paying users are paying. Good things. Okay. GAAP gross margin was 78.8% as compared to 75.5%. Non-GAAP gross margin 80%. The margin on this company is insane. They make a lot of profit. Net cash provided by operating activities was $200.9 million as compared to $149.7 million in the same period last year. Free cash flow was $187 million as compared to $102 million in the same period last year. I'm just going to skip to the bottom. Cash equivalents, and short-term investments ended at $1.226 billion. This company's market cap is $8 billion. They have $1.226 billion on the book in cash and short-term investments. Are you kidding me? Then you also have, I mean, look at these numbers. You've got paying users increasing year over year, quarter over quarter, every single quarter. It might be decelerating slightly, but I mean, come on, guys, 1.2 billion. So it literally, if they took all their cash, 1.226 billion, and invested it back into their own stock, which they have said that they could possibly do, that they could do stock buybacks on their own stock here, that would be like a 13% increase in the stock just alone, just by the net cash they have on hand. I mean, this company is profitable, and they're providing more and more different innovative platforms within their business, and it's I like it a lot. Alrighty guys, so here is the stock chart for DBX, for Dropbox, and as you can see, not really that volatile. This goes back to 12/20 of 19. The stock IPO'd August of 2019, so it's only been around a year and a half or so. Low of the last 52 weeks has been 14.55, high being 24.14. Keeping all that in mind, I think that we're about to see some pretty rapid change in this stock price. Can you please smash that like button downstairs and consider subscribing to the channel for more content similar to this? I think this because Dropbox is one of the most shorted stocks on the entire stock market. It's in the top 10. And I think the problem is with people not understanding where they're going in the future and thinking that they are just a cloud computing company still, because like I said, if they were, I would be out. You know, I would not be in this stock, and I definitely wouldn't be trading options in it. But I firmly believe the options that I bought for $5.66, I believe, is where my average price is at, and I bought 45. I'm looking to buy 5 more on Monday if I can, if the prices are around the same. But yeah, I bought it at $5.66. I firmly believe within the next 3, 6, 9 months, those will be $20 plus. Those contracts will, simply because I think I mean, it's time for a massive short squeeze with this stock. I mean, they're profitable. They keep adding more platforms. They're gaining users. They're gaining average pay per user. I mean, everything is looking great for this company. The CEO is innovative. I've done a lot of research on Drew Houston, and trust me, I would not put my money into a stock that I didn't like the CEO on. I will once again say, please do your own research before you invest in this stock. Options contracts are very, very risky, so it could be very volatile. I could lose half of my money in one day and gain it back the next, or gain it back the same day. Who knows? Pretty good gains, especially over the last month and a half. Planet 13 really treated me right. Spirit really treated me right. Tesla really treated me right. And those are my 3 biggest holdings. So that was pretty great. With that being said, check out DropBox. I mean, a lot of people are sleeping on this stock, and in my personal opinion, 3 months. 3 months, we're going to see a lot of price action in this stock within the next 3 months, and I don't think it's going to be in the downward direction. You can see even Rona in March, the low was 14.55. So, I mean, what is that? That's a 33% downside compared to, I think, legitimately a 500% upside in this stock over the next 5 years plus. I think this company is extremely undervalued, and the impact they're about to have on the global society of businesses is going to make their stock price appreciate. I mean, as simple as that. And as far as a greater return to a risk versus reward assessment, I think options contracts are a fantastic option within this one, you know. So if you agree with me, like I said, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. With that, have a good day, guys. Happy investing. Check out my other videos, my Spirit video, my Planet 13 video. That's all valuable content, guys. I'm about to start making content on cryptocurrency. If you like that, just make sure to consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.